our sleeves for Philip II. Stay tuned. Welcome back. And here comes el rey Felipe, el segundo de España.
Meet me in the mall, it's going down. Meet me in the club, it's going down. Anywhere you meet me, guaranteed to go down.
Hola, Philip. ¿Cómo estás?
Well, I have had better days. Recently, there was this man being annoying to me in the Netherlands, a personal union of mine. He was a pest in the whole of Christianity and the enemy of the human race.
So you're talking about William I, Prince of Orange?
Yes, that man. Or at least he was the Prince of Orange. He is no longer. A righteous man of God was kind enough to assassinate him for me.
Was that the end of it? Did the conflict die with him?
No. Those Protestants with their satanic ideas cluttered our ships with their naval resources. They blockaded the Spanish-controlled southern provinces too.
Okay, simmer down, simmer down. So, how are the economics in Spain during this time? Wasn't it one of the highest European nations because of the profit it made off the Americas?
Well, we were pretty good, but I tried to push our dismal navy a bit too hard, and they just couldn't handle it. It was like how McNabb pushes the Eagles, attempting plays they aren't good enough to do. Well, I was like Mr. McNabb, who had many failed adventures.
But surely other people made the decisions too at the time. So it wasn't just your fault.
Well, there were those rather pesky assemblies in Castile, Navarre, and 3 of the other provinces in Aragon.
Couldn't you make them give up their power to you?
Well, they really like to hang on their traditional rights and laws inherited from when they were all separate kingdoms. And as you can imagine, this only made my job more difficult. They were always at conflict with each other, and as there was no viable Supreme Assembly, I stepped up to the plate. They always needed me to be the final arbiter anyway. It wasn't much of a change.
So, did you fix it up a bit? The way everything was set up?
Yeah, the authority was administered by local agents that were appointed by me, and the viceroys carried out my instructions.
So you probably had a lot on your plate.
Yes, I guess I could use to say that. But it isn't like I didn't enjoy it. I presided over specialized councils of state affairs, finance, war, and the Inquisition.
Didn't you also establish the capital in Spain?
Yeah.
How did people react to this?
They didn't like it at all. They wanted it to move to Lisbon. They felt that it would make me show favoritism to Castile, which I did anyway, but only because it was the best province. It is the place where Ferdinand and Isabel were. But yes, the Spanish population was not happy with the location of the capital.
Well, Madrid is to this day still the capital. But I heard that Spain was having some serious economic problems far more important than where the capital was located.
Yes, we had some major inflation. As good as the flood of bullion from the Americas was, it was the main cause of all the inflation.
How sad. How was the industry?
It was very inefficient and absolutely needed the government's help. So it had a lot of government regulations because they couldn't do stuff correctly themselves.
It was also because he moved us all over Spain, dispersing us from Granada.
It was so that you wouldn't start some crazy Muslim, ungodly invasion. I knew you were planning it.
Well, King, thanks to your lovely idea that we would start an invasion, which wouldn't be a bad thing for Spain, the entire area suffered the terrible economic effects. Even the rest of Spain felt the consequences.
Yes, well, at least the country was no longer in fear of falling to terrible Muslims.
As I said, it would have been a good thing. We would have had more common sense than to neglect farming in favor of sheep ranching, thus forcing Spain to import a lot of grain and other foods in the mid-1560s.
She provided wool.
Farming provided food. Importing greatly hurt the country because it lost a lot of money. So you royals added taxes upon taxes. And of course the rich can't pay taxes, of course. That was to be expected because of the lack of parliamentary powers. So much corruption. Well, so because of the taxes, the rich got richer and the poor got poorer.
I'll be executed.
I'm completing my job of spreading the truth about your reign.
Ha! Simmer down! Simmer down. Simmer down.
Oh, and the best part is that Spain's first bankruptcy was in 1557 because our warmongering king was having far too much fun training our military, increasing the debt. By the end of the reign, interest payments on just loans from Genoa and Augsburg will make up 40% of the state revenue.
Oh no, thou did not.
Okay. Well, we learned a lot from here. But how did you become king of Portugal? You can leave now.
Well, my nephew, the king of Portugal, died, and I was next in line. It was through my mother's side of the family.
How much more hard does this give you?
It let me show more aggression against my enemies. After all, I inherited, I bought, I conquered. I helped to spread the Habsburg crown all over, and by the time I got Portugal, the crown had spread to Africa, Brazil, and the East Indies.
Well, wasn't it difficult to get the Portuguese people to like you and for you to fit in?
Not really. I had been raised by Portuguese courtiers, and they also added a lot of my strong Catholic religion. Portuguese is my native language, and my mother was a Portuguese princess. As for fitting and clothing-wise, I cut my beard shorter and changed my clothes. Not that difficult.
England wasn't under Spanish control?
Sadly, no. It was Catholic for a while, under the reign of the lovely Mary Tudor, my wife.
What would you say if she came onto the show?
Philip, I hate you! Why? What's I do? You tried to marry my stupid Protestant sister. I thought you would always love me.
Yes, for the maximum benefits. I can always convert her to Catholicism.
Oh, simmer down, simmer down. Did I mention that Elizabeth's coming to the show? Like now? She should be here?
Hello, lovely sister. How are you doing? Happy to be reunited with the husband that jumped to marry me the second you died?
I'm hurt, and I'm not happy, little sister.
And you, Philip II, how did it feel to be beat by a girl in the Spanish Armada? Your ships were masterfully like cowards upon seeing the burning ships we sent out. Sir Francis Drake did a god job of looting them.
Well, had you agreed to my marriage proposal, we wouldn't have had this problem.
Yes, but I didn't. How many ships was it that made it back to Spain? Of the many that you sent out? Gosh, I hope that those terrible storms on the west side of the island didn't hurt you too bad.
How dare you? How dare you attack my husband like this? Audrey, this is too terrible. Why did you bring me on the show? Just to cause a fight between me and my sister? I'm gone.
Okay. Well, Philip, didn't you and Elizabeth have some other tips in England?
Well, I sent off another 3 armadas. 2 of them I sent to England, and the third I had fend for themselves in the Canary Islands. We fought until we both died. The defeat of my armadas hurt the Spanish standings amongst the other European countries.
Yes. But you did as much good for the country as you did bad, did you not?
Yes, I consolidated Spain's overseas empire, succeeded in massively increasing the importation of the silver in the face of English, Dutch, and French privateering, and ended the major threat posed to Europe by the Ottoman Empire. I also united Spain and Portugal.
Well, on that happy note, let's go. Over now!
No love.